What looks like daycare and operates like a payday loan office. Who gets stupider with stickers than Grandpappy and his label gun? I'll paint you a picture in case it ain't clear. At the kiosk, a kid plays the same damn game he's played since Dad dropped him off. He looks like he's gotta go wee-wee, and his stomping feet flatten the Lunchables he left on the floor. At least eat the rainbow sprinkles off the Rugrats-shaped bologna burrito, you little bastard! They're starving in China, but my healer had better be level hallelujah by Thursday. Center store, I see a bargain bin, sad as a lawn sale and shittier besides. If these untouchables were toys, you'd have a domino, the head of a doll, and a quote-unquote table for her. Only it's the plastic piece from a takeout pizza. I spit sunflower seeds on the lot and park a booger on Booger Man. Pre-order bonuses, you bitches! And then I hear it. Let me show you that in slow-mo since you might have missed it. It's a conversation at the counter, I think. How to time attacks to beat a boss. Hey, leisure suit fucking Larry, I holler. Pipe the fuck down. I'm trying to depreciate your inventory over here. Quite the job since you've already trashed the joint scrounging for elebits or some shit. I mean, even my house is more hygienic. My house, where Taco Bell wrappers do double duty as toilet paper, and Christmas paper, and acid paper, and rolling paper, and... Did you pre-order Paper Mario? Oh, I get it. Buying games is some serious baby adopting, organ transplanting, citizenship applying, space shuttle trip taking business. Except in your case, the Kmart across the street is blue lighting babies, hearts, visas, and a spaceship for 25 cents a fucking flight. And no, I don't need refund insurance for a disc that's dangled from a moron's rear view mirror. Besides, what'll one more booger matter? And that ain't all. He wonders whether I've got used games on me. I check the Chewbacca bandolier I'm not wearing and laugh. I make more scratch in a single post about air pockets, compadre. I'll zap your bowels so full of them shits you'll float away yelling, Dig Dug, did you in? He calls that a challenge and reckons right. So we lower the lights, lock the doors, hang up the out to lunch sign and turn on Halo. Hey, I can't help it. Ain't no computers in this hacienda other than the Texas Instrument he calls a cash register. I'm checking out his half of the screen and he says so. Of course I am, asshole. I concede and dab a big brown nose nugget dead center on his junk. There's your crosshair. Maybe now you just might hit me.
Kill-tacular.
Clearly he ain't cutting it and wants to try Tetris or some such. So I show him Whiskey Nerd and said Vodka Nerd across the River Dawn by spelling out LOL and noob in blocks with one hand while browsing the old BlackBerry with the other. What comes next I should have foreseen but somehow failed to. Karaoke revolution. YouTube meme in the making and surefire sack shrinker. You win, I yell. Or rather, your diaper fell off in the Playland ball pen, and I'm bouncing before the Skittles become Whoppers and the whole rainbow starts tasting like a training toilet. I'm hardly a hero, that's true. However, I do grab the kid from the kiosk and direct him to the door. Go on, get! You've solved Metroid. You know the score. This motherfuck brain is about to blow. I'll be right behind you, grazing your Rugrats burrito.
Hello and welcome to GFW Radio. This is the podcast for May 30th, 2007, and I'm so happy we're all here and we're actually doing this because it was all nebulous until about an hour ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
We had no idea if we were going to do it at all this week.
Damn holidays.
Frickin' holidays. We're screwed by the Monday thing. You know, it's kind of our like redheaded stepchild legacy as GFW. We're the ones who have to podcast on Monday, and Monday ends up being the day when, like, shit happens, like holidays. Not that holidays are shit, but...
No, they're wonderful.
They're great, but
Yeah,
they screw up our schedule.
So you're not going to take over the fourth now in order to podcast.
But we're here. We're here, and we're all here. And all of us is as follows.
Brian Scott.
Darren Gladstone.
Sean Malloy.
And I guess Sean Elliott decided that he was quitting the podcast, so no more Sean Elliott. Thank God. So now,
He's on strike.
Yeah. So now finally everybody else will get a chance to talk.
That's right. It's all you and Ryan, you and Sean are going to be carrying the weight this time.
Oh, wait. Sean is here. Oops.
Oh,
Did you hear that?
Wait.
I'm here, but
He just snuck in.
I'm here to listen to Ryan and Sean.
What is this? Some sort of
so
act you're
interesting.
doing?
Dang,
this is
no
fine. This is-
pressure.
carry on.
This is
Soldier on, people.
A live Andy Kaufman routine.
I think I need to be
That's how I
prepped
play
for
it.
this.
I know. You gotta warn us.
What's he doing?
This. You're gonna make me nervous if you're just staring. We already have one guy doing that in the podcast.
What the hell?
Great. Pretty soon, everyone's just gonna be Ryan on the podcast.
The GFW Staircast.
I'll just,
we just
be,
watch
I'll
you.
just be talking.
Let's get going because
Shit.
we already have people outside the door. of
Time
our
is a ticking
podcast
here.
Pointing in here like we need to hurry up.
Yeah, it's a crazy day. We got people looking in here. Probably any minute, the fucking retronauts are gonna be down here trying to get in.
And those DLTV guys, we have to fight them off.
Yeah, it's not even going.
So
to that.
Jeff,
Okay.
what have we got to talk about today?
So much.
You're prompting me. We got a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. We have so much to talk about. We could be here for hours, and
We
maybe
can't,
we
though.
will be. Maybe we'll just hijack the studio. Screw everybody else.
We'll just keep vamping until we actually have a plan.
Among the things we have to talk about are two important, big, huge Microsoft releases this week, which we bring up because we are the official Games for Windows magazine, and we're here to do our best to promote Microsoft product whenever we can. So we're more excited than ever to announce that finally Halo 2 is coming out on the PC. Yay!
Woo!
Oh wait,
Oh, yeah.
holy crap!
Oh, crap.
that was kind of bitter.
I can't talk. I've been playing. This is not my now playing, but I've been playing nothing but Halo 3 beta while I've
Really?
been waiting for this PC to arrive that I've been talking about for 6 months now.
Yeah.
Well,
This
the mystery PC.
There's
will
one
be
thing
showing up at the
we're
office.
saying on that to end all Halo 3 talk.
Yep.
That river in the past, I talked about how people found the river in one of the maps, Valhalla, just to be just phenomenal and gorgeous.
The
Yeah.
floating bodies, yeah.
I figured out it's a conveyor belt of KY jelly.
You.
That's what it is.
How'd you figure that one out?
Just looked at it.
So
That's
basically,
what it looks like too.
so my original analogy of the Ganges pretty much holds up.
No, the Ganges is clean for that. This is all gelling out.
That'll make a good review quote. Conveyor belt of KY jelly.
That would
What
be
is with
nice.
these people who keep walking by and looking in here? Go away. We're podcasting. We hate you. Love, Jeff. Also, Shadowrun about to come out any minute now. Maybe we're actually a little more excited about that. Okay, I was being very cynical and sarcastic about Halo, but Shadowrun.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm into
The
trying
few times I have played it, I've had fun. I mean, it's just a straight up multiplayer experience. So I mean, there isn't anything else to it besides that.
At least it's a new game.
But that's,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's I don't know. I
It seems
disagree
like-
with when people say that, and I've said it over and over again, is that a straight up multiplayer experience is no knock against any game.
Right.
I mean, to me, here it comes again. You hear me talk about it every week, and you have for years, Battlefield 2.
That's exactly
I wouldn't even, they put bots in it later on. Who cares?
Right.
I didn't want to play that. I want to play multiplayer. And that's I don't know. I mean, that doesn't really say anything to me about it. It's like the lack of total enthusiasm for the game is not. Well, for some people, I think it's that there is no single player. For me,
That's
it's
exactly
the quality
it.
of the multiplayer.
Right, it was
Right.
part of the genre.
Oh,
And
I
I wouldn't
think-
be excited about this if this was just a straight up PC multiplayer shooter. It's the cross-platform stuff to me that's the interesting
Yeah,
part.
exactly.
But why? But the
Is it
thing
really?
is why wouldn't
Yeah.
you? The reason you wouldn't is because there's something about the game itself, the multiplayer itself, that's not that exciting to you for whatever reason that is.
I don't know about all of you guys, but I'm probably going to play this. I have to admit, on the 360 when it
Wait.
comes in. If a big huge
Yeah.
if a big huge box of Shadowrun shows up tomorrow, which by the way it really should. Hi Microsoft, send us your games.
Hello, Jeff.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out that
Greetings.
Wow,
This-
from the
this-
talk back.
this game is in stores tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
We're
don't get any special treatment.
we're still waiting.
like early review.
But if I get
code.
two, if a box comes from me and there's a Vista and a 360 version
you're
in it,
playing the 360.
I'm taking. Yeah,
Well, technically, you kind of have to. Do you even have Vista set up on a computer?
no, I do not.
Same way.
Nor do I want to yet.
So I'm the only. I remain the only person on staff that actually has Vista. That's because I'm getting new machines sent to me with Vista on it at this point.
Hey, but don't let that influence your decision if you're listening out there, whether you should upgrade to Vista or not. Just because no one at the official magazine, except for the tech guy, actually has Vista. Don't do what we do. Do what we say you should do. And
Hey, maybe
we
this
think
will
you
be
should
the
upgrade to
game-
Vista.
It convinces us all.
Consume.
Maybe it will. Maybe this will
Maybe
be
it'll
the
be
game.
awesome on the PC.
Maybe. I know when I get a new PC, it will have Vista on it, and I will be happy. I think. I just don't want to upgrade my current machine because I don't want it to break, which I said before, and I got shit from tech guys on there. I can't believe he said that. He's running a magazine. He doesn't even know how to. But that's just the way it is. I don't have faith that things will go right.
Well, why would you install it for Shadowrun and Halo?
Exactly.
Well, history.
I need a good reason.
That's
to
exactly it.
upgrade.
So when Crisis comes around, then it's
That is a good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, I guess also, history kind of proves that you kind of have to wait a couple months with the new OS. With 98, 95, 98 XP.
XP, I don't think I got
Actually,
till Service Pack 1.
Exactly.
And I was super happy with it once I did, but I waited.
I'm still running 95.
I think that the real heart of the matter is that people aren't finding the game itself that compelling. We all played the original games. We know the franchise and stuff, and we've had plenty of time to get used to to it and fucking live with the fact that it's a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
But imagine if it was called whatever. Imagine if it wasn't Shadowrun. It was called whatever, and you play this game. It's just not, so far in my experience, it's not exciting enough. It's not rewarding enough.
What if it was called
experience.
Ninja Gold? Would you play it then?
I probably would. I'd smoke it. I don't know if I'd play it.
Seriously, that.
Should we talk about Ninja Gold?
You brought it up.
I brought it up.
What are we
Kind of
gonna
an
say about
awkward segue. Ninja Gold apparently is the name, we think, or the working name of the new Warren Spector game.
Careful with putting the "the" on there though, because we're not sure. Junction Point Studios, which he formed some time ago, my guess is that they're working on and have been working on something else for some time.
Right.
I would be surprised if this is it. Not
Me
necessarily
too.
a knock against it, but it just seems, because when you think, the thing with Ninja Gold is it's based on a film that's being made by
John Woo.
John Woo, and when you think licensed games and film games and stuff, you don't think Warren Spector.
No.
Yeah.
Like you think this this really independent, and I think it's fair to call him a visionary, with what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't think, okay. It's kind of like the other guy who's the guy that's working on Area 51 Black Site?
Oh, Harvey Smith.
Harvey Smith that worked with him on, some of the Deus Ex stuff. It's like, it was like, And you're wondering, well, maybe he's going to take and, with everyone else that's working on it, but just infuse like a game with some cool ideas that you wouldn't expect from it. And the same thing, it happened with Riddick. That was one of the few cases where something like that happened.
Right.
Where you go into it.
Yeah.
Like,
Riddick was better than the movie.
right. And you're wondering,
Way
by a
better.
lot. Not that
but
that's
yeah,
saying
it'll be
much,
interesting. I was hoping to get some feedback from Warren in time for this taping, but didn't happen. But we can either put it on the forums or talk about it next week. But I asked him a few questions about his. Well, for one, to clarify, is this the game that they've been working on in secret for some time now?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things he cited that makes it an interesting or worthwhile project to him is the whole notion of the fusion of classical and contemporary cultures and times and stuff. Because it's basically like a modern day ninja, which sounds like a funny way to justify
Michael
Ninja
Dudikoff's been doing that shit
2007.
forever.
Ninja Gold.
Ninja Gold.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like a
roll
big
up a
W.
big
So yeah,
gonna be
we'll have
like
to wait and see what
Ghost
the
Dog the
what the
game.
deal is with this.
Yeah. Ask him how much an ounce costs. Yeah, it is kind of like, what did you say? What was that movie?
Ghost Dog.
Ghost Dog.
Wonder if it'll
Yeah.
turn out like that.
Right. I mean, yeah. So
I
there
don't know how that would be a
an
game,
example
but
of
hey,
Well, as long as it
I'd
isn't
like
a-
Warren Spector to try it.
As long as it isn't like a Michael Dudikoff American Ninja production or some kind of stuff like that.
Wu-Tang's RZA's already announced he's doing the production for the soundtrack, though.
You're kidding.
I'm kidding. Yeah, he did a lot of stuff on Ghost.
He did
Dog.
Ghost Dogs, yeah.
Great movie.
Oh yeah.
If we were doing a movie podcast, that would be
We would-
relevant.
We talk about
Yes, we can segue into Ghost Dog talk.
So Ninja Gold, actual game or elaborate practical joke? We'll find out.
Or high quality weed.
We'll find out for next
More
week's
things
podcast.
GF Radio doesn't have or know.
Oh, that's the only. Is this the first game this is the dumbest joke ever? I'm setting up the first cover story of this game is going to appear on High Times before it appears on Game Informer or whatever.
Yeah, that's a little elaborate. Blah, blah. All right, well, we'll edit that out,
I
Sean.
stand by that joke.
You have to. Really.
Mark my words. In years,
They'll be laughing.
Actually, it wasn't a joke. I was just telling you like it is. It's not.
We set it up as a joke. Shouldn't have said that.
So I'm gonna segue now into what you're playing, because we've talked about things we want to play like Ninja Gold. I'll tell you what I have been playing. I reinstalled, for some wacky reason, Rise of Legends. Actually, it wasn't a wacky reason. It was because
Got to be
on
StarCraft reason.
It was a StarCraft reason, because on the Retronauts podcast, which was about StarCraft, Garnet brought up Rise of Legends as an example of a modern RTS that had the three different sides that were totally different from one another and still maintained balance, like StarCraft.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't actually give Rise of Legends a lot of time when it came out earlier. I think just because it must have come out at a flood of other releases. I think that's right when Age of Empires 3 came out. So I just kind of passed it by, even though I loved Rise of Nations. And I have to say, it is quite a great game.
Well,
I agree with you.
You think it's better than Rise of Nations?
I think I do, but that's actually because I wouldn't say it's better. I would say I prefer it because I tend to be more of a fantasy dork than a real life dork. So, which is why I prefer like Heroes of Might and Magic over Civ, say. Even though I totally love Civ and respect Civ, but I tend to err on the fantasy side of things. But we did give this a good review, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you gave it like.
Okay, because otherwise I'd
This
have
is
to go
back in
back
the-
and
this is
rewrite
back in the
history.
non-
Both you and Sean liked it at the
non-reviews.
time.
Yeah, we gave an editor's choice back in the day.
Yeah,
It's a great game.
it is a great game.
What's making it stand out to you?
Well, there's that issue. There's the issue of the balance of three different, very distinct races, which is hard to do, all with their own play styles. Also,
Resources and tech tree type stuff, and
the tech trees are completely different. I mean, maybe not quite as. There's nothing as radical as the Zerg.
No, the Zerg stand out as like the big differentiating point between like StarCraft and Rise
Yeah.
of Legends to me.
Mm-hmm. Also, this game is just reminding me, like, really how far. I mean, I played StarCraft for a long time right after the StarCraft 2 announcement came out. So going from that to this and jumping 10 years, you really could see how far the RTSs have come, which was more speaking to your point, Sean, a while ago, where you were saying that you felt like StarCraft now was like kind of too limiting to you.
I was just doing that based on speculation. A lot of it's from what I hear, like talking to people that are.
But you're kind of right.
Have been playing all, and it was just to reiterate, it was that you have a very rigid rock paper scissors, and although that term is used all the time whenever balance is being addressed in anything from a battlefield to an RTS, in this case they really mean it, and that if you do something with your tech tree that's the equivalent of scissors, someone's going to come out with a rock, and it's definitely going to beat you, and then you're going to lose because of that.
Right.
Whereas like in prior to recent patches, Company Heroes was especially a good example of a game that would make that not be the case. You essentially have the option to go and retinker with whatever you're doing, and your tactics are always going to be more important than like if you made some strategic snafu in the beginning of the game and you're just going to pay for it.
Yeah, I think.
Although that does exist in Company Heroes too, based on like the territory that you decide to get.
Mm-hmm.
You could definitely lose a multiplayer game because you didn't, in the first minute of the game, you didn't get secure an especially important building or something.
Right. So StarCraft to me is like speed chess. It's just there's a very certain way you almost have to play it each race.
Right.
And every move is countered by another. I'm just reiterating what you're saying.
So exactly. And that's exactly what I've been told about it.
Yeah. And it's awesome. I mean, it's perfect for what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But Rise of Legends to me it's got the fast pace of a RTS, but there's so many elements in there that are drawn from turn-based games and drawn from board games even that add like all this just extra tactical thinking to it that I really love.
Are you talking about
the rule the world,
the
world
campaign
map kind of
world map thing, or are you talking even in the game?
Even within the campaign, even in the campaign or the skirmish maps, either way, there's like a lot of decisions you have to make with how you're going to level up the points you get. What are those called? Where you can expand the. I'm flailing here now.
Right.
Flop sweat dripping down my face.
We're just going to throw you the anchor.
To limit the attrition of your units.
I know what you're
across
talking about.
Borders.
Like
I just
I
can't
don't
remember the
what
term
it's
for it. Great. Way to not
points.
prepare-
They're points, Jeff.
The points.
Something that does something with something that you decide to do something with.
Points you
But in the
assign to
campaign
something.
too, the way that the campaign. I mean, there's plenty of other games that do this. The Rome Total War series, where you're getting the board to decide what the next zone is you're going to attack,
Right.
and the ramifications of which way you decide to go.
So it is like the Total War games?
It is kind of
In that
like
respect,
that, yeah. And I mean, I just really love stuff like that.
When I played the Medieval 2 Total
Uh-huh.
War, I really liked the turn-based element of it, and it was the real-time aspect of it that I found, lacking.
Yeah, that was the same. way I
and
felt
for
about
me, I feel like both sides hold up.
really, because I didn't think the turn-based side of Rise of Legends is anything special.
Well,
at all.
it's not deep.
No, it's just like you pick left or right, and then you either get more gems or you get more gold, and then you can always go left instead of right in the next turn.
Left or right's a tough decision. 50-50
No,
shot.
it's no. I mean, we don't want to
I
confuse.
spent
We don't
an
wanna,
hour trying to decide.
just don't want to confuse people and make them believe that this is anything
That's
like medieval
true.
too.
Yeah.
But maybe if you're as dumb as me, I was.
I'm wondering if there's
I'd
this
ask
like
my wife, left or right, honey. I don't
shady
know.
ass game that came out like a year or two ago called Wrath Unleashed, and it was basically like a fighting game, but you would
Oh,
choose
the hex
to,
space. Oh,
there was a hex-based game in between like rounds of when you would fight.
I reviewed that junk.
Yeah, I did
Well,
too.
that was supposed to be Archon, right?
What was it
like-
called?
It was inspired
Wrath
by
Unleashed?
Archon. It was
Wrath
terrible.
Unleashed, yeah.
It was a really bad board
Collective,
game and a really
loved
bad
it.
fighting game, all in one.
Awesome.
Two great tastes. It tastes
Yeah.
great together.
So that's what I've been playing. Oh, and
feel ya.
actually, the other reason I was inspired to do that is, if folks listening don't know, is that this was done by Big Huge Games, who currently are doing extremely well on Xbox Live Arcade with the Catan port. So that's why.
Have you been playing that a lot?
I have been, and I'm still getting my ass kicked by that goddamn cheating AI.
Rolling sevens all the time.
Other than that, it's a great game. Yeah, I think my record against AI
Although you
was
established,
like 2-9.
you've already established that it's not cheating AI,
Right.
though. You actually looked at the code base that.
Well, I didn't look at the code. He
Well, they
posted,
posted the
the code, but I
code.
can't fucking read code.
Yeah.
That's not any proof to me.
Someone handed you a
Like, oh,
I
okay.
read it.
It's like if he
stack of
posted
papers.
Chinese and went, see? Like,
It's all
oh,
in the
okay,
upper
it says if then and something, and there's a Boolean variable. Okay. Must be honest. I don't know. For all I know, that translated into fuck you, I'm cheating.
Right.
Love.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, big props to Big Huge Games on Rise of Legends. Belatedly for me.
Good stuff.
Also, lots of Gears of War, which I won't talk about, but I played that a lot.
Back to that. Did you ever beat it? Beat that? game?
No, I never had. So I'm still partway through the single player campaign. At the time, I was telling Sean before the show that when it first came out, it's one of those things where, I mean, I think it happens to all of us with every medium, whether it's a movie or a game or whatever. If there's too much hype and you didn't buy into it right away, then when you finally do it, you're like, I don't see what the
Right.
big deal was there. And that happened to me with Gears of War. I mean,
It was the
Shu
equivalent
gave
of,
it the 10.
which was the equivalent of the Oprah Reading Club sticker on a book.
Kind of. Yeah,
Or
I
me
mean,
not
so I was like,
watching
oh,
Heroes.
gosh, I guess I have to get Gears of War because everybody says this is the shit. And I got it, and I played a little bit, and I was like, huh, really?
But at
So
the
I-
same time, it made you not want to pick it up, too, though, for whatever snobbish reason, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I don't watch Heroes.
But now with the hype long past or whatever, and I booted it up this weekend, I actually thought it was pretty great.
Mhm.
And even the graphics, which at the time I was like, oh, I don't see what the big deal is here, struck me as being pretty damn cool.
Well,
Yeah.
I could do better than this.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it is really just the attitude we bring into it. I
Yeah,
guess.
totally. Totally.
So anyway, that's me. I've been monopolizing the mic, so I'm handing it over.
Two.
Ryan,
Huh?
what are you playing?
Yeah,
Anything?
I spent the entire 4-day weekend that we just had playing City of Villains.
Wasn't it nice
Wow.
weather outside?
Really?
I don't know. What's outside? Outside in
the-
Paragon City?
Yes,
Wait a minute,
out in
dude.
Paragon
Why-
City.
I just did
Why?
the math on that, and I'm not liking the solution. So you've been watching a whole lot of Heroes, and all of a sudden you inexplicably start playing City of Villains again. Like, how are the two connected?
What's
Were you like, oh, I gotta go reenact these scenes?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing, Sean.
That's totally Ryan.
So Ryan, what's your
Save the
character
Ryan,
in,
save the
in City of
world.
Villain? What do you have? What's your guy's name?
His name is Doc Clockwork,
Okay.
and he is a mastermind,
Mm-hmm.
which is the pet class.
Is it permissible for us to refer to him as Doc Clock?
Sure.
All right.
Does he
Yeah.
have a
Trademarked.
big clock, sort of like
Flava Flav.
Flava Flav?
No, nothing,
Yeah,
nothing
boy.
retarded like
He has
that.
an
no.
army of
Mechanical
Yeah.
henchmen.
He has an army of robots.
That's cool.
Lots of fun.
So
Why?
what else are you
And-
doing?
You
in
still
that
didn't
game?
answer why.
what is it? What
Huh?
is it?
Why?
Why?
Why what?
Why are you playing this?
It's fun. Why are you playing WoW?
It's fun.
Well, see,
Wow.
But I never
There's our-
stopped.
Oh, there you go.
I never
Yeah.
stopped though.
There you have it
What
from the
brought you
gaming
back?
experts.
well, you know what? No, I had never played City of Villains.
Uh-huh.
Like City of Heroes. I mean, a lot of it's obviously kind of the same, but all the mission structure and all that stuff in City of Villains is a lot more kind of focused.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not.
Do you feel like a villain? Are you doing villainous quests? Or is it just
he's
like
killing-
good guy
he's-
stuff
he's
in a
killing the-
different skin?
He's killing the good rats. As
You
opposed
gotta
to- as opposed to the rabid ones.
No, you have to like rob banks and.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you're
kidnap
stealing all of
people
the
and-
purses that are like being stolen on the streets instead of
Yeah.
saving the people.
Pretty much.
That was my
yeah.
big problem with it. Is like there's so many freaking heroes, quote unquote, running around, and everyone's purse is getting stolen everywhere you look.
Yeah, yeah. Crime's
like-
a little out of
I was like-
control.
I don't feel real like I don't feel real special.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot less people play City of Villains. There seems to be kind of like a lower population on the villain side.
Like anyone? You're not alone in there, are you?
Oh no.
No,
But
he has his
you know,
army of clockwork. men.
Hello? Anyone? Does anyone need help?
I mean, maybe it's the same as like WoW, right? I mean, like Alliance outnumbers Horde.
Yeah, I guess it's probably
Significantly.
similar. Plus
So
the thing,
maybe-
plus the thing came out after City of Heroes, so
Yeah.
Yeah, a good year
that
or so
factor?
after.
So
Are you like in a superhero guild? Like, do you have your super friends or anything like that?
You have your own Legion of Doom.
villains.
I'm asking. I'm
This is a
serious. I'm
serious
not
question.
kidding.
I am in a guild. Yeah.
What's your guild called? Can we say on the air?
It's called the Kindred. It is a guild that I have been in
That's
since
cool.
since Ultima Online.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive. So you
Somebody-
guys migrate from game to game, and
Pretty much. There aren't a lot of us left.
Is Mark Millar still in your guild?
I'm gonna pretend you didn't ask that.
Let's play with me, man.
He got kicked out of the guild a long time ago.
so there's not many people left. Is that because you're stuck on City of Villains? Did they all say, "Let's go play something else, dude"?
Well, like after Ultima Online, nobody, people just moved on to different games and stuff. So
After Ultima Online, that was like 10 years ago.
what? No, that was more recent than that. We stopped playing Ultima Online around 2003.
Just because you stopped
Wow.
playing it on launch day doesn't mean he did.
What the hell? Ultima Online's awesome.
Have you
Well, I
hatched
think-
any diabolical schemes?
I
No,
killed a bunch of people with some robots.
that's pretty diabolical.
That's
Pretty
That's- yeah.
diabolical.
Do you actually get to move up to where you can be like that, like a crime kingpin? Like a Doc Ock level sort of guy?
I think eventually it gets to the point where like there are all these like kind of signature supervillain NPCs in the game,
Uh-huh.
and you reach a point when you get to the higher levels where you can, I guess, fight those guys and
Can you win?
yeah.
not. You know how MMOs work.
I mean, you win, and then the next group comes and kills him and wins.
Yeah.
Welcome to the animatronic ride.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Toad's Wild Ride in Supervillain Town.
Eh,
What level is Mr. Clockwork?
he is level 22.
No, it's pretty good.
Is it Dr. Clockwork or Mr. Clock?
Doctor?
Doc.
Doc Clock.
Doc Clock.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I don't recognize his degree.
Yeah, what is he a doctor of?
I don't know. Evil robots. I don't know.
You got to have answers for this. You need the
You need the
snappy.
you need the backstory, man.
Because if I was a
Yeah, what-
superhero and I came up and I would Doc Clockwork, what are you a doctor of? In the comic book panel, you would totally, come back with some repartee. Doctor of Pain, yours.
Yeah, what's your catchphrase?
I'm a veterinarian.
I'm a podiatrist.
I signed up at Apex Tech. I got this free
vi-
box of tools.
do villains get a catchphrase like the heroes did?
They
That was my
do. I
favorite thing.
haven't done any clever catchphrases or backstories.
that's
Oh,
my-
dude, come on.
That's my
The
favorite
whole
part of
reason to
City
be a
Heroes.
villain.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say like my villain. I mean, like I actually spent time creating a backstory. I never
You spent time creating backstory for your like Lucky Charms leprechaun. dude.
Unlucky Charms, by the way.
Was that his name?
Yeah,
Unlucky Charms?
Yeah, he was an evil leprechaun mastermind who had a henchman of thugs. And my battle cry was, "My wrath is magically delicious."
See?
See?
That's
There you-
good.
That's the whole game to me, by the way.
Exactly.
Right, then you can quit.
And
yeah.
now I'm done.
Yeah,
Run
you
around
make the
saying that a few
costume,
times.
You make the saying, right, and then you quit.
You don't
Yeah.
have one,
Okay. Darren, anything?
All right. Well, there's one game whose name shall not be spoken for fear that I might be a shameless shill.
What, Overlord?
Yeah, done. Okay, next. Actually, if you guys haven't checked it out, have anyone else here check out Dungeon Runners?
No.
New NCSoft game. It's worth checking out if only because it's a free download free to play game.
It's
like-
free MMO.
We like
So
free.
it's a free MMO, but it's also like, I guess it's like $5 a month for like extras, elite items, whatever. But you can't complain if you're playing the game for free, right?
That's the new trend.
Yeah.
But it's definitely Diablo inspired. Can run as low or high res as you want.
Is it all
So
instant?
for the $5, you get clothes, though.
It's a hub
rest of the
area, and
time
then you run
you're-
into an instant world.
So it's like Guild Wars.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But I mean, even with Guild Wars, you're well, technically it's kind of the reverse. You're paying for the game and then it's online for free.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, it's worth at least downloading and trying. I mean, it's kind of mindless, like just like kind of that same kind of multiple clicking Diablo kind of gameplay.
So why would I want to play it instead of just Diablo? I'm just asking.
No, I'm just saying. Well, it's got a tongue in cheek from what I've played so far, which isn't a whole lot, mind you. But it's like, well, obviously better graphics, but also kind of a tongue in cheek sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
So like low, goofy items like a cardboard crossbow is like it kind of has a self-referential sense of humor about itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm enjoying it for what I was enjoying that for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And on that same kick, I also started playing. Have you guys checked out this freestyle basketball game?
No.
Oh,
it's
that's that huge Korean thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a huge thing in Korea. I'm like, is there something I'm missing out on here?
Sports games.
You know, the thing is, it's actually a good basketball game. I mean, it's just like cell animated, and you obviously it's skill based, and as you go on, you can, either obviously pay in to buy more skills and stuff, which then it becomes
right.
like this escalation of.
Well, I think this is the model for the micropayment online game, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
that's the direction it's going, and I was kind of curious to see kind of how it's how it's being revealed here, and how people are going to kind of get into it.
Well, what are the micropayments?
Well, in the case of this game, you can buy shoes and pants, and it sounds stupid, and it kind of is. But each of these things kind of add like extra skill points and stuff.
Sean Elliott's making
Yeah.
Ryan is too. You want to say it, Ryan?
It is.
Pay real cash for fake ass shoes.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. I mean,
it's kind of stupid. Only kind of. I know you said it. Dude.
No. Well, the thing is, it's not even that. I mean, the thing is, like they associate values to the items, so it's like beyond it being, oh god, I get to buy some Nike sneakers. It's like sneakers that can like improve my jumping skills or something. Or
but then we're back into the whole like mess of shit that came up with the Hellgate stuff. Basically buying yourself.
It totally is. You're buying yourself elite performance.
So why do you want to play that? Someone who's dumb enough to buy a bunch of like elite basketball gear can like dunk on your shit over and over again. You can't even like touch the fucking rim on your best day.
Yeah, but then the internet is your house, Sean.
Yeah, I'm just
get out of my house.
I know, and that's actually that's the genuine question that I've been curious about as well. Is like how well that's going to play here. I mean,
is it an MMO and that every player on the court is controlled by a person?
Well, you could play like you could do like a practice match against like some couple bots and drills and stuff. But otherwise, you're playing against people online.
Is it like,
to what extent
like
though? Every player,
it's 3-on-3.
3-on-3.
Okay.
And you can actually like you obviously there's like level. It's like you're not going to be playing against some level awesome guy who's going to be able to dunk on your ass every time. You're kind of put in the same like level skill areas. So you actually like as you're playing your character gets extra skills and you do get some points, just not as many.
Mm-hmm.
Just from like you earn a victory or pull off some moves, whatever, and it kind of goes into a pot.
That strikes me as an evil model.
How is the basketball game itself? Like, what does it compare to?
I was having fun with it. I mean, it's basically it's kind of basic, but it's not like a full 3D map because I mean it's kind of like a top. You're.
There's some double dribble shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 2D map. You just gotta go up and down. Throw
some 3 frames of animation up on the dunk once in a while.
8-bit style.
Diamond dribble. Hitting that reset button because it's talking to me.
No, it's kind of like.
You remember that shit, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was so excited when that game talked to me. I just would sit there and hit the reset button over
what the
and
hell?
over.
It kind of reminds me of
Got Herbie Hancock with it.
Actually, I like the stop motion, like.
Yeah. But there's only like 3 frames.
Exactly.
You totally remind me of like being in arcades in the day and going in and watching guys play it. And the guys playing it would always be these big fucking fat guys. I know I know we've ripped on fat people before, and we've gotten bad mail about it. And I'm sorry if you're overweight and it's a problem, but I always used to think going into the arcade and seeing guys like that, it's like, why don't you guys put the quarters?
Bitches on our message boards complain about for those. I got so many
eggplant watches
of people saying that like. Dude, I found 3 today. I found 6 yesterday. Like, my whole school's playing this shit now.
Vindicated.
Right. I'm just saying that it used to bother me to go into the arcade and see guys like 3 p.m. playing like a one-on-one arcade basketball game. And, they could stand to lose about 150 pounds each. And it's like, go outside and play some real basketball for fuck's sake.
There was this one dude.
I don't think I could ever say Go play. Don't play a video game, people.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I run a video game magazine. I'm sorry. Don't play real sports. Buy games.
Yeah. Go LARP. Go play WoW.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just hearing
There's so many places that can go that you don't want it to.
I guess.
Jack Thompson would be at the front line.
You're
of
right.
One of them.
Yeah. You're right. But there's just something about that, especially when they're like trash talk. I dunked all over your ass. I mean, it's like you're saying. They couldn't dunk in real life.
Oh, no.
Because they're too fat because they don't exercise because they're playing games.
That's the essence of video games, though. Now what are you saying? You couldn't beat the Zergel Dawn Armada in real life, you know? I mean,
Yes, I could.
I'm ready for them. I have my tinfoil hat ready. No, but like I remember like back in like I just double dribble specifically. I remember like going to my local the local pizza place and like they had a double dribble machine all set up there. And this dude every day after school he'd be there like he's fat dripping over the panel. He's like
the rolls
the rolls kind of come in and he'd master the dunk on people and he would just go. Oh, like you'd see like just
wow, he sounds like a WoW boss.
He was totally like he was totally like Jabba.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, but he was so proud of himself with his like.
So for that game, my whole thing is like if you took like a really well done basketball existing like EA basketball game, NBA or something, and then you added all that other stuff to
like
it,
NBA
it could be fun. But I mean, if the game itself just is really rudimentary,
yeah.
But maybe it is a good basketball game.
It's kind of NBA. I think it's NBA Street, but it's got more like an RPG depth to it. So it's interesting in that respect. And I mean, are people willing to pay for that? Like on a pay per item basis? I don't know.
That's a pretty bold statement.
That's a bold statement.
No. That's this like NBA Street level of play. You know.
So what else can you buy? Just clothes or?
Well, no. So you're also paying for skills too. Like you can do like special jukes and.
Can you earn your skills through regular play?
I did at a slower rate.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I play that. I bought Street Home Court for 360.
You love that game, right?
It's pretty fun. Yeah.
Are there weapons in this online game? You can't.
Sadly, no.
No.
No, I'm just saying.
What kind of weapons would there be?
Actually, one thing that does really annoy me about it, and then this is almost like unforgivable. But like you can't, there's no gamepad. I can't hook it a gamepad. So you're using your keyboard to play a basketball game. Seems kind of stupid.
Well, Darren, you're playing a PC game.
I know. Yeah, but you're forgetting like how many times we play in the days of high heat baseball. Everyone used a gamepad.
True.
I'm just messing with you.
I know.
You never played much sports games, huh? Sean Malloy?
Mutant League football is about the extent of it.
Mutant League.
Didn't you ever play Punch Out?
Punch Out doesn't count.
Sure it does.
That's a sports game.
And ice hockey and Mario Golf.
Mario Golf, okay.
Mario Golf counts.
Yeah, Oh, it does? Then I've played.
Actually, that counts more as an RPG, though.
You're gonna make me mad, though, Ryan. There's that whole clique of kids that they won't touch any sports games, but then they find out like you can unlock Mario or Princess Peach in it or something, and suddenly they care. It's like their favorite shit in the world. You know what I'm saying? You saw every time it happens with like an EA sports game or something.
NBA Street.
Yeah, you're like. People are like, "Oh, great! What is there for this system? Just a bunch of like fucking sports games and and brain dead shooters." And then like as soon as they announce the same game, but you can unlock Mario in it, they're like, "Oh God, this is incredible!" I don't want you to be that person, man. Oh, I don't play golf, but I'll play Mario Golf. Go be that. Be that guy.
I'm that person.
We might all be that person.
Mario Golf.
That doesn't sound so bad.
I play it too. Mario Golf sucks, actually. I'd much rather play Tiger Woods than Mario Golf.
Elitist.
Now that we're nice and off track. No, it's just like
you just want to hit. You don't have to bank a ball off a sunflower.
I mean,
or
at
something?
least I like the analog stuff and the whole which is essentially descended from the Golden Tee trackball type.
The only time I play it is when we have a group of people, so I kind of want something that isn't real high maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if Tiger Woods is high maintenance. I never even touched it, but like Mario Golf appeals to the crowd of random people walking into the house.
Although I will say it could be better on Wii. That's the new thing. It's like that would be so much better on Wii.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be so much better on Ninja Gold,
Ninja Gold makes it better.
That movie was alright, but
be better on Ninja Gold.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take a break.
Before we take
a break, we're gonna go out in style here.
No, well, real quick, we got this email.
Oh, that thing. Oh, yeah.
And really going out in style.
It was entertaining
awesome.
to me because, the subject, it was amazing first because it was like, in a Whiskey Nerd skit like 3 weeks ago or whatever, I had him basically shilling doing like, guerrilla marketing on message boards for foodstuffs,
Right.
air pockets and shit. And then all of a sudden I get this email and the subject line is next gen food for next gen gamers. And I was like, holy shit, like my alternate ego like somehow emailed me.
Did you think it was a joke at first or not?
I thought it was a joke. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Oh, I
this
totally
is-
got the same thing, and I thought it was a joke.
And then I
too.
opened it, and here's what I got. And I'm okay. By the way, my name is not Rory, but it says, "Hi, Rory. As a fan of Computer Gaming Worlds, also noticed that Computer Gaming
wrong
Worlds
name and wrong magazine.
Doing your
great gaming
research.
reviews. I'm happy to offer you some quality fuel for your late night sessions. I represent Carl's Jr. and Hardy's new spicy buffalo chicken sandwich.
I thought we were gonna blank out.
Oh, I was supposed to blank out.
Oh,
Well, that's fine because now we can turn it back on them. Like, notice they don't represent Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, but they specifically represent a spicy buffalo chicken sandwich.
Yeah, that really made me laugh before. It's like, I told you I wanted us to write back and say, like, we liked your idea, but we'd rather talk to a representative for one of your other sandwiches.
So, yeah.
Personally, I like your curly fries. Can I support those?
Can we speak to the curly fry representative instead?
So then they go on to say, and I'll skip the spiel about when they're trying to convince me why this is the tastiest shit that I've never eaten. Since you're into games, you might like to play with our lunch invite widget. Make a lunch date with Ashley Hartman, and you can train her to lick a lollipop, do the robot, or take the elevator.
Oh.
Send an invite to your friend or use it to remind your coworker that they still owe you a meal. Either way, you get a $1 off coupon at the end, and you'll get to see a gorgeous girl do your bidding. Of course, if you roll female blood elves, you're probably used to it. Now, at that point, I was thinking it was spam, where they just inserted like some name,
Key
and then they
element
just
here.
inserted like they got the
Right.
name of the magazine right.
Right.
But then it was like they at least took the time to say like the blood elf shit. That threw me. I was like, someone write
There's a
this
little bit
shit
of
just
care.
for me, But then I was like, no, I'm sure EGM got one, and it just said like it inserted like Laura Croft for blood elf or whatever, But
Who's the widget?
But so yeah, this widget is basically there's like this chick they want us to put on her for one, like on my website. Yeah, let me do that for you. Let me put a widget of Ashley, what's her name, Hartman, licking lollipop on my website that I don't have. And but it's like, what the fuck? Why would you want to do that? And then anyway, she says either link will make you a lunch date with Ashley. No clicking required. No extra clicking required. Granted, Ashley might not actually show up, but you can still get fired up over that extra $1 in your wallet.
What the hell? So
It's
she
so
may not
can your
even
readers.
show up?
I'm just confused.
What does
as
that
hell
mean?
on
Might
this.
not. How dare they imply she even may?
But
Okay.
that's just, I don't know, that's the bulk of it, but I just thought that was pretty sad. It kind of reminds me of, like, if anyone uses, like, instant messengers now of various sorts, MSN is particular, and Yahoo are particularly offensive. They have these shits called winks. That's the Hotmail one.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when you know how there's the tradition of smileys and stuff? Because you can't just type, hey, I'm smiling, and have it say the same. So then you got a picture of a smiling fool. But now with winks, there's like, when you can't possibly find a way to say, like, Dodge trucks are sturdy, you hit this button, and it changes the background, and all of a sudden a big Dodge truck and flash goes by.
Does that phrase often come to your mind?
It's like, yeah, like how, Mom, I'm talking to you, and I love you, and I know it's just Mother's Day, but check it. And then it's just like, I believe in crystal light because I believe in me. And then,
So wow, we've got like 5 promo ads. You know, you're sponsored by Dodge.
Jumping
and
names
Crystal
on
Light.
this shit.
That's like those YM environments I was showing you.
Yeah,
Remember?
so it's like, what is this shit?
Yeah,
Like,
Yahoo Messenger, you can like load a background that's like, Scott toilet tissue.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
but I
Yeah, they
know
do
about
that.
him
Why
because
would
I
you do
download
that?
him to piss people off.
Right.
But it's like maybe I'm the butt of their joke. Maybe they're like, there's no one who's ever going to send this to someone seriously. It doesn't matter whether they think they're being ironic or not. They're still advertising our bullshit stuff. And so it's like my little avatar. I'll have like some Monday Night Football dude like running back and forth and like the corniest flash you've ever seen, and just
Yeah,
like
but
Ghost
you're-
Rider movies
Yeah,
shit flying on the
yeah,
screen.
joke's on you, man. You're doing their PR for them.
I am.
Just like we just did for what's-her-face,
Oh,
Ashley
yeah.
Hartman here.
No,
At least I got the
I
lunch
actually-
date with Ashley, though. I already
I'll
did.
set up for next week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention her name, but as I'm looking at the woman who sent out this email, I'm wondering if like she wakes up in the morning, looks in the mirror, and goes, "Oh God, I got to do this again."
Yeah, that's like, how do you feel about that?
At least this person
you're-
had the decency to say they were representing the sandwich and not pretend that they weren't.
I'm a Spicy Wings
That's
Sando
true.
representative, damn it.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's like,
And I want.
where do you think she is on the
That's where you're in
on the
trouble.
ladder of PR reps? Is it like Are there people aspiring to represent the buffalo chicken sandwich? You know, like
Who
there's
are-
other girls in the office going like, "That bitch."
She's only got the
I
extra
can't
condiment
believe she got the
account.
buffalo chicken sandwich.
And some of the buffaloes
that was
represent-
so should have been me.
They represent the line of sandwiches.
Yeah, maybe that you start out at Filet-O-Fish. Is that like bottom?
That's like the shit fish of like
Yeah.
the shit witch of like representing.
Man, if I just work a little harder, I can get the buffalo chicken sandwich.
Jealous of the Whopper guy. He's like, oh, he doesn't have to do anything.
Right? They'll
So-
sell themselves those Whoppers.
If she's
Those bastards
listening
at Big
now,
Mac.
now for my reward, you can keep the $1 off coupon and just tell me how you felt when you typed that out. How you felt about yourself the moment
How much
you
your
typed that.
how much your soul crumbled every day with every letter strewn.
I felt a lot of money go into my bank account.
Yeah, no kidding. She's probably making more than us, so the joke's on us.
Yeah, but she's getting paid in buffalo wings.
Let's go take a
That
break.
still
and
sounds
go
all right.
mess with that widget.
Okay, we'll be back soon.
3, 2, 1.
You're the
We're the
best around.
Listen to EGM Live, the weekly podcast for Electronic Gaming Monthly, available every Monday for download at egmlive.oneup.com or podcast.oneup.com or the iTunes Music Store.
Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Sweep the leg.
Are you ready to play? You can vote to bring the 2007 Midnight Gaming Championship Tournament to your city and prove you've got what it takes. The baddest gaming tournament in the U.S. is gearing up for another year. Visit midnightgamingchampionship.com for details and make your voice heard. Game on.
Con artists formerly known as CGW on furlough. The same bimbos in bedclothes hawking games for Windows. Far from the finest. FCC finest with Peanut Linus losers listen on Linux. Aghast at our podcast served with sick twist. Thick pretzel vendors with hepatitis bringing more mustard than Midas. I'm no nerd. That stuff's sinus minus pressurized air sprayed on personal computing appliance.
Ralphie went nerdcore.
He's a bit angry now these days.
Yeah, he leaves for a few weeks and he comes back angry and rapping.
He's got some
Lots to
gold.
be angry
He's
about.
got some gold fronts too, and
No doubt.
Good to have you back, Ralphie. Don't stay away so long.
So, one thing that we wanted to talk about
Yes, sir.
is we continually bring up griefing and goofballing and
Yeah,
causing trouble and
We do.
mayhem in online games.
we do.
And a couple weeks ago, you know, when we last talked about it, it was a joke when I said it, but I said that in Lord of the Rings Online, the ability to go and do some social engineering might make the game worthwhile because collecting the 5, sheep pelts and stuff alone isn't incentive enough to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a joke, but I was serious to the extent that I do think that the social engineering and things that some people will do, or just the stuff that just kind of happens to emerge in those games, is often more entertaining than the missions that they give you. And even if you
Right.
don't believe in goofballing and messing around, I think you'll agree that sometimes when even you, Sean, are playing World of Warcraft, you're having a much better time talking with your guildmates as you're just sort of like casually clicking on monsters. and
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
totally.
It is a completely technical and, at this point in time, cliched term almost of emergent gameplay.
Right.
The game makers call it.
So a few things surprised me. One of the Captain McAllister on the forums, which are now gone, we've been merged into one Uber forum now. But he said that Sean and others on GFW are always talking about trying to elevate games to the level of film, and supporting griefing is not the way to do this. When Roger Ebert sees a film he hates, he writes a critical review pointing out the film's flaws, and then goes on to some film he likes more. He does not go to the theater and ruin the film for people who might not like or who might like it. So,
has he seen Beyond Valley of the Dolls?
Immediately, I mean, the whole thing there was like, I mean, and everyone else could chime in. If you do it, you can speak from a position of familiarity. If you don't, Ryan, it turns out you hate this stuff, although I know secretly you cause some mayhem in Ultima.
Oh, yeah.
But the whole thing there is like, what an inappropriate analogy, for one, to say that like the experience of watching a movie is like an MMO, and that instead of us doing something in that environment is basically the same of like being obnoxious and talking on our cell phone in other movies, because rather than people that were sitting there and watching this passive experience unfold with, everyone else in the game, we're all principal agents. We're actors in this thing together. And part of the very draw of that genre is our presence there. Because if you strip that away, you've got essentially a very dull and repetitive RPG.
Right. It would be more like if you went to somebody's house while they were playing a single player game.
Yeah,
sat
That's exactly it.
Sat on their couch giving them shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so a few things that I wanted to say. Like, first is that when we say grieving, so there's no misconception. It's not like we're just kicking sand in the faces of the scrawny, and it's not like we're going and we're using hacks and we're just team killing you and stuff like that. Like some of the examples I gave, before were staging fake contests and stuff, and they turned out to be tricks. Or like, recently, and I did get on Lord of the Rings Online. One thing we did is the game's got voice chat. We get someone in, and you make up this whole spiel. And the example, I was telling the guy that, I was serious that I'm the leader. This is my chance to be the leader, and I want all transmissions to be concluded with over. And I got, so I get this guy like going along, and then I tell him, like our characters are Ralphie and Darnell, and we pretend we're like kind of brothers of what would be a PC way of saying of dubious mental capacity, and so
you're like inbred Appalachian.
and I'm just
brothers.
telling them stories about it's like telling them I haven't read the books because Grandma won't let us. But she says we're allowed to play because they're satanic, and I'll say like, is it true that if you read the books, sometimes you'll wake up at night and you'll have a devil on your chest, and it makes it hard for you to breathe, and all this is in a messed up voice. And then the guy's like going along, he's like, pretty much, and then and then it's almost like, we're allowed to play this game because we're allowed only if we role play because Grandma wants us to use our imaginations. A lot of games don't take imagination. Grandma has imagination too, because on her car, there's a sticker that says, "In case of rapture, this vehicle will be unmanned." So sometimes she'll just start swerving around to make people think that it's already the rapture. So like, we'll just be talking, just going off and off like that shit with this guy, And all of a sudden, I mean, to me, that's radically different. For one, in that case, the guy can be griefed no more than he wants to.
Well,
all he has
he
to do is get out of the
headphone.
fellowship or click mute or any of these things.
Yeah.
And it's so completely stupid and ridiculous that it's like, if you're going to get mad at that, well, fuck you, like just turn it off, like I said. And it's not like, I mean, that's like loose goofballing, and an analogy that comes to mind is there's this improv outfit on the East Coast called Improv Everywhere. And they'll basically just engage in social engineering, but in like real life. And it's just crazy and awesome. I think they do phenomenal stuff. One example would be they find a local band and say you played a few shithole bars or something, and like you get a show at one, and then they show up with like 60 people in their group that they all get to go. And they're all like, they practice in advance, and they know all the lyrics of the songs. And as you go up there and you play, you're thinking like maybe 5 friends are showing, and then like a bunch of boozers playing darts in the background might wander up to the stage now and then. And all of a sudden you've got a full house. They're like singing every line that you're doing, pumping their fists and shit. And then like when you go out back, they're all just running and asking for autographs, and then like boom, a second later they all just vanish. And then you're like, what the hell was that? Like, how did that happen? And it was an interesting story on that, as they did on NPR later, is that, most of the band guys were like, it was incredible. They realized that they got pranked, but they're like, wow, like how many times in your life are you going to have an experience like that you can talk about? Now, I'm not saying Grandma in a Rapture Ready truck is quite the same as that, which is amazing. But at the same time, there was the band member it just crushed him. It just like, it was so like, it just like hurt his.
I was going to say, because I was in a band in my younger years, and we played all the crappy places in Berkeley and Oakland and San Francisco. And it would usually be that it'd be like all of our girlfriends and and friends and the people who hung out in the bar normally. And after we played for a while, we got a teeny tiny little following of like 30 people or whatever. But if there was a huge
crowd,
crowd,
it make you sad to know you have more people that want to hear you play clarinet in Lord of the Rings Online than ever wanted to hear you in high school?
It does, but it actually tells me I made the right career choice. Rock musician, not the way to go. But think when you're telling the story, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, what if this big, huge group came in and did that, and I realized I was up there and they were goofing on me?
Yeah,
I probably would have felt really shitty.
Terrible. Yeah, it's totally bummed
like,
out.
Oh, they're here just because they're making fun of us because we're loser.
No,
nobodies.
they didn't. But they didn't realize it was even more like crushing for him because they believed in the illusion the entire time. And it was when he realized what happened afterward, he had already felt like he just like the highest sort of like just endorphin, rush he'd ever had. He just was on top of the world, and then just to realize that it was all just predicated on a bunch of bullshit,
Yeah.
They pull the rug out and it just kind of crushed him.
Yeah, but they do all kinds of stuff like that. They'll go into Starbucks and repeat a scene over with 3 actors where someone spills his coffee on someone, and they'll just keep repeating it at 35-minute intervals.
That's awesome.
Over and over and over and over again.
That's fantastic.
People feel. I mean, they do all kinds of stuff like that. But anyway, I think I have respect for that kind of thing where it takes some work.
Right, I hear what you're saying.
And pranking, another like
that's just like goofing. I mean, in Asheron's Call 2, Robert Coffey and I one day we were 2 characters. He was Mike Oxbig, last name Oxbig. He was a couple mature guys here. We were. So he was Mike Oxbig, and I was his brother York Oxbig, and we would go around in this game and just do random shit. And this one day, we just went into it was like a crossroads area out in the middle of a zone, and he and I both just like laid down on our backs, okay? And that's all we did. We just laid down, and then this dude runs by and he stops, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're like, "We're just laying here. You want to join us?" So he does too. And then other people started coming by, and they would like look around and type WTF, and we're just like, "Well, we're just all laying here. You just chill out. You guys want to chill out with us?" And then they laid down,
watching TV.
And then
Radiohead.
soon we had a whole field. We had a whole field of bodies. We had like a sleep-in Asheron's Call too. And it was just completely random, and people laughed. It had nothing to do with the game whatsoever.
And that is more. I don't know. I think that you're gonna of all the things you did in Asheron's Call, that's one of the things you remember.
And the other thing I remember, which was a little more griefing like, but it was still just a goof, was we found out that if you do the sit, you could do the sit animation in the game, which puts you cross-legged, right? But while you were sitting, you could still do a /follow. So you could follow players automatically,
hence the
while you're still sitting. Mm-hmm. So it basically looks like you got people on like a magic carpet behind you.
Doing some
and so we would Robert and I would just pick some random guy and just go on follow sitting down and not stop. Even he'd be typing like, "No, dudes, really, I'm not kidding. Cut it out." And he'd just be running all over with these 2 cross-legged guys following him in the air.
That guy, actually, and that was the birth of the Asses of Fire in Asheron's Call.
That's how the Asses of Fire started. Yeah, we formed our own guild, the Asses of Fire. But and eventually he logged off because he was pissed off.
That guy posted on our forums, by the way. So to speak, another guy in the thread. Yeah.
Okay, so read it.
His name is Baron Calamity, and he's like the king of all Care Bears.
But we love him.
He says, "Rude behavior in a public place is rude behavior. There's no difference from griefers in an MMO and a group of teenagers talking on cell phones during a movie." And this was after I posted and talked about how there are all these ways to get out of it, and that also the nature of an MMO by default is not that of a movie, watching a movie in a public space. So he says, "You say if people don't accept griefers in an MMO, they should play a single-player game. That's no different from saying if people don't expect cell phone using teenagers in a theater, that they should stay home and watch a DVD."
I say that.
You want to grief and ruin other people's gaming experience that they paid for, and the company running the MMO doesn't mind them chasing off other customers. That's fine. In a short time, you'll end up with a small community of griefers griefing griefers. Or as it is better known, Ultima Online. It's got a point.
Nice.
And on that note, Ryan,
funny.
You're just wasting your time trying to justify it to me or anyone else because you're debating from a weak foundation. So I don't know. I just compared that to.
Do you think he has a point at all?
Well, depending on how you look at it and how he's interpreting what I had to say, I mean, to the extent that you're able to extricate yourself from these situations is different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the equivalent of having to get up and leave the theater and go. It would be like if you could press a button and make that person just disappear from the theater if you had that power, And just once again saying that it's like I honestly believe it. If you want just the experience of the game as the designers intended it, what's to say why not play single player? And I didn't just say, "Hey, go play single player, buddy, if you don't like me." What I said was you have options of playing with guilds, with clans, and of controlling your environment, and if it's that important to you, and if you're that worried about someone doing something unpredictable in an online space, I think it's a fair suggestion to say, well, maybe you either need to be much more selective in who you're allowing yourself to be exposed to, or play a single-player game.
You could put on a mass ignore. You could join, I don't know, another server where there's less obnoxious people. I mean,
that's it. I mean, they have RP servers for a reason.
There's RP servers. Yeah.
I'm of the opinion, in any game, if the designers give you the means to do something and it's not an exploit,
right?
Then go for it. It's fair game.
We've talked about this before. The designers, I mean, some of the best, like, griefing is just such a loaded word here, so it's hard,
Yeah.
it's bad to use that word. But
Right.
some of the best stories we've heard of funny things that players have done are from, like, the WoW designers themselves. And these guys are, like, hardcore into their own game, too, as a game. But they'll also still want to do the goofy stuff just because it's
even
fun.
the whole Leroy Jenkins like meme is
Right,
based on what we'd call what would fall under griefing, you know.
Right.
The other thing too is that I think there's I mean, for some people, like, game is always not real life for me. The two are fundamentally different, and like my sort of code of ethics is different in games. And in the same way that I think, like, I kind of like jokingly accused this poster of it, but you know, like once in a while you'll see on the internet about how someone says they were raped in and rape's not funny, but they said they were raped in Second Life, and that's funny to me. But very, because it's so different, you know. It's like, and they wanted to have a lawsuit, and they are having a lawsuit with the same, hoping to have the same conditions as if they had been raped in real life. Whereas one is not funny whatsoever. It's fucking ridiculous to me that they think that you got raped in a video game, whatever that means.
I don't even know.
And
what
then you're
that
going to
means. Why don't you
somehow
just,
like
turn off your
expect the
modem?
same like
Yeah,
sort of
I
like,
can't log off. What?
you know, social handling for that. Like that's preposterous to me, you know. But
Right.
So
I mean, some people go so far down the rabbit
it's
hole
not
that
the
they
same.
can't
Like if
shut that part of their brain off.
Yeah.
I
if
think.
I'm on
I
a
think
bus,
that's a psychological problem.
and someone's like poking me in the side, I don't think that's the same as if I'm like doing the equivalent of poking another
Slash poke.
character in an online game.
Right.
Right.
And maybe I'm alone in that, but to me, hey, games are not that serious of a business to me.
No,
Right.
I,
If some
some
guy
people do
in,
take
in
them really
WoW starts
seriously,
typing to
so.
me, "I am fondling your breasts," I'm not going to consider myself assaulted.
Right, and that's the whole thing. So like
I might
that,
actually enjoy it.
that ridiculous like
That's a whole
logic
other
taken to
topic.
its extreme would say that like, oh, you know,
yeah.
you just abused
just
me.
ignore
And
the damn.
yeah,
I
don't-
need to
I
get
don't-
counseling for it.
I don't
and-
really buy the movie analogy at all.
and it makes so light of
I
the
don't.
real thing, you know. It's like an insult to
Well, yeah.
to survivors
There's
of,
that,
of
there's
real
that too.
trauma, you know.
That yeah.
Yeah, well, whoever said the analogy here about like basically like it's like saying, you know, the griefing is like almost like, you know, you have to remove that person from the movie theater. I mean that's absurd. I mean that's not what's happening here.
Right. I mean, in the movie, it's a one-shot thing, which you have no control over, right? And it's, I mean, we've been over this.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
so like
And even then, it might be more like if all of a sudden someone made it so that like one of the actors on screen had like a mustache or something random, like they're able to like do stuff like that. I don't know. I mean,
you know, the only thing I guess the only case of griefing where I would take issue with is anything that's going to make me like redo gameplay for like a couple hours, like say like the Leroy Jenkins thing, or go through a couple go through a raid and then then you die and then you got to redo the thing for a couple hours, lose XP.
But
I
even
do
then
still I still would do that. Like, so I guess like I still won't, like, if I was talking about getting a whole bunch of a mob pissed off and then leading that mob to someone who had like an undying rank,
right?
So then he had to then fight that mob and die. Like
to me,
that's
to me,
still
there's
just
just
funny.
no
It's
lie.
like that shit's happened to me. I've totally got griefed and ganked and like in games that I laugh.
Right.
But also the hardcore ones. You know, like when we were playing Call Juarez, the demo, when we found ways to like, because there's so many like shades of griefing. You know, there's like exploiting, which is like something that's there, but like, you know, exploiters will draw the line. They'll never do anything to the code, so they'll never put hack in or something.
Right.
So we found ways to get out of the map. But then there's some straight out hacking, like My God style griefers coming in that are like jumping 60 feet in the air, turning like, falling through the floor and shooting us from beneath the map. And I was laughing out loud. I was like, "This is hilarious, dude!"
Right.
Like,
no, I mean, in just about every single case, it's totally hilarious and totally cool. The only time that I've never dealt with this myself, but I'm just saying personally, if I invested like hours and hours into something, and then I had to like go back and reinvest hours, that would piss me off to no end.
Yeah, I've
That's
got
good, but
I used to get mad on my.
But it's like okay, maybe it's different for me because like I do this for my job, and I probably would not be spending hours in the real in my free time.
it's
playing
very, very difficult though in almost all MMOs outside of like what Ryan Eve Online and Ultima Online to cost anyone serious. Because even if you get everyone killed in Lord of the Rings, dude, there's like no death penalty.
That's
worth
exactly it.
mentioning,
Like,
so it's like
I
big
said,
deal.
like,
They're
there
just
it's
one
fine.
wipe.
But I just keep thinking of like like a WoW penalty or EverQuest.
Right.
Back in the day, EverQuest penalties.
Yeah.
But like
That's
if you're
pretty hardcore stuff.
playing WoW on a PvP server, then you kind of have what's coming to you, right? I mean, I was on a PvP server, and exactly what you're talking about would happen to me. I would get ganked like ruthlessly in places where I was like, "Come on, man, come on already, cut it out." And they do it again and didn't give a shit and would be laughing over my corpse.
You joined that server.
But then the thing was like, it's my own fault. I joined
part
the
of the
server.
game.
That's right. And then, you know what?
Sorry.
Then I did it back to people. And that felt good.
And that felt really good.
It's like Ryan
so you
was
started pissing on the level 1 guy.
When I was watching Ryan play Ultima, I was like, dude, what's that stupid thing chasing you on the horse? And you're like, oh, it's just another player trying to kill me. And I'm like, he's been doing it for 15 minutes. But Ryan didn't care. He's like, I'm just going to town.
Part of the game.
I'll make it to town.
That's how it works. Like Wild West.
There's some people in WoW just like they'll follow me incessantly for like 30 minutes, hoping like I'll accidentally hit them or something, and I'm just like, hey, if that's what you want to do,
if that's how you want to spend your time.
Yeah. I think a larger part of this might be a whole other conversation, but I just keep thinking like Baron Calamity touched upon this a little, and I think that a big part of the reason why there are so many Care Bears that take issue with griefing is because they need this is basically the only place they can get their RPG fix from. Like there aren't many classical RPGs anymore where you just play by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they go online looking for that fix and
wishing this is something that it isn't.
Exactly.
Maybe. But yeah, I mean, for me, I can't really draw a line. Like everything's fair game, pretty much.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, the times that I've been on and people have done goofy shit to me. I mean, I'm usually just like, okay, yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
Whatever. And if it really bothers me, I just log off and come back when they're gone.
That's it. Like I play on PvP servers, and I get my ass kicked, and I laugh about it. And like there have been some pretty creative, like hateful moments, but I knew it was coming. I walked out into a zone I shouldn't have been in.
I feel like it's sort of like if it's I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a real subjective call here.
I think at some level, like I just like pranks. I did pranks all my life.
Yeah, remember when we had remember when Rockstar's Bully came out? I think it was Joe Rubicki over at OPM started to thread about, or somebody had started to thread about, hey, send us your anecdotal bully stories about when you were a bully. It was
kind of right.
And I wrote one about like how I had been bullied, and then Sean Elliott sent out this email that was like 50 examples of all the different bullying he did.
No, but it wasn't like bullying.
They were just
some of them were just rad. Like one example to give that's worth repeating online.
Yeah,
but because it's like you get to the games are a good outlet because like once you can't do that anymore because you'll get busted, you risk getting arrested or something. You could do it in a game. But like we would take like a pair of tidy whities, and then you spray up the crotch with butter spray, dribble a few dots of Tabasco in there, and then you take like a nutty peanut butter with a lot of nuts in it. You mix it with Hershey's and then an egg yolk, and then you roll that together in a Ziploc bag, and then ultimately makes like the perfect sauce. It's just like it's solid, but it's greasy, and then you dribble that all inside the the crotch, and then you take those bad dads, and like we made tons of those. It was like making all these drawers, and then we leave them like in the Safeway donut case, all laid out like it was a display.
You were working there at the time?
No, it was after I quit.
My God,
I did it like a week after I quit.
Did you ever try? Try for a job at ILM by any chance? Or like...
No. But then other uses, we took the same pick and roll and drawers and like epoxied them up over the school lunch lines, like where the cafeteria lines. And then like epoxied one on a stop sign, which is so rad because like I remember years later people would say like the in the town where I graduated high school like that still like elastic BVD band on a stop sign or something. And then the best one, well not the best, the Safeway was the best, but then like of course the Denny's bathroom you just like rub some toilet paper in the mess and have it drape in over the toilet and leave that in there, and then stuff like that. But yeah, so it was like. You just graduate from doing that to talking about Grandma and the Rapture. And
we should put that we should put that formula up on the blog page.
Post your BVD recipe.
It's already on the podcast, man.
You need the exact ratio.
Yeah. I encourage you.
You're gonna incite
that
a rash
butter
of
spray
all
works
over the
wonders.
country.
It was
careful because that stuff.
Please, kids, don't do that at home or at your school.
Don't do it.
Right, don't do it.
But I just will say it looks so real. Like you'll be impressed with
even tastes real
with your own handiwork.
But don't do it.
Don't ever do it.
Don't be like Sean
Those
Elliott.
stunts were performed on closed Safeways.
Hey, speaking of all this, is anybody here going to play the Jackass video game?
What the hell?
I know of his existence. I don't even know.
It's
what
a
it
little
is.
late in coming. I remember when I interviewed, because I got to hang out with both Steve-O and Bam Margera at various points.
Oh yeah,
and I remember they were like, "Yeah, we want to do a Jackass game," like years and years ago, and it seemed like
it's kind of over, isn't it?
Yeah, it seemed. So. I mean, like the Jackass 2 movie came out and was great and stuff, but it's like, yeah, I mean, they needed to have done it like Before even the Tony Hawk games got as played out as they are now, you know?
Right.
Too late.
Well, now they're already making one for it's a console thing. But.
And it'll just be stupid, too, I think. Because it's like, let's stage pranks in a video game or pretend we're doing, like a dude, like the whole essence of Jackass is funny because you don't know, like...
Right, it's the element of surprise.
Right.
You need, like, a totally emergent simulated universe to play in. Like, where people have, like, real reactions to crazy shit.
You just make your own. Like, you go into Second Life and do your own. Like, when,
exactly.
My friend went over the red light district in Second Life, and he bought some hover scooters that he got somehow, so he was flying around, and then he started raining, like... penis prostheses down on the town, and like he did so many, it was like lagging the hell out of the server because it was having to calculate the physics, of the falling
Wow, did
phalluses.
that make like the Second Life newspaper? It's raining penises.
There was an article about someone doing. I don't know. It wasn't exactly the same. But there's like an author having like a virtual book signing.
Oh,
and then like the penis came flying through.
That was like the funniest thing I've ever read.
What happened?
Someone, some notable real life author or whatever was having like some book signing or speech in the game.
Okay.
And someone like griefed that and like made these giant phalluses that were like wiggling in through space,
flying through
like rolling all through the thing, and they had music playing and shit. Unless that was added like post production in YouTube. But it's like some Ride of the Valkyries or some kind of shit.
Well, that is kind of a Jackass moment.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
That's totally like what those
Virtual
guys would have
Jackass.
done.
And how you're going to do that in something other than like a Second Life scenario? I don't think you can.
Yeah.
But good luck.
Yeah, taking a shopping cart down a hill and crashing in a video game that's about taking a shopping cart down a hill and crashing is dumb. It's like it's probably more fun to get a warthog and take it off a man cannon when you have your teammates in it and then ram them.
Unless it is something like way more complicated than I'm assuming it is.
It's an MMO.
Nothing in the shows or movies makes sense in a game.
No, I just conceptually I don't see a connection.
Taking a dump in
the toilet in the
hardware store.
at
the hardware store.
Press X.
Yeah, X. Yeah.
No, because you could fail. Remember, like
press
in that
the take dump key.
You have to jam the key the whole time, and if you like track and field, and if